The world honors winners, but few understand how the undefeated are made. This is the story of Miyamoto Musashi, the brutal discipline of an undefeated mind. A mind that never faltered, a warrior who shaped victory before stepping onto the battlefield. And the truth is simple. To master the world, you must first master yourself. From his earliest days, Musashi faced chaos. 16th century Japan was not a land of comfort, it was a crucible. War raged, children were trained to survive, not to play. And yet, even as a boy, Musashi sensed something most never do. The world responds not to strength alone, but to clarity, preparation, and relentless discipline. At 13, while others hesitated, Musashi stepped into his first duel. He carried no armor, no legendary reputation, just an intense focus, a mind ready to fight and adapt. And he won. Not because he was naturally gifted, but because he had begun building the undefeated mind that would define him. If you want to win at life, remember this. People fail not because they are weak, they fail because they are distracted, scattered, and undisciplined. Musashi mastered the chaos inside him before facing the chaos outside. Musashi did not follow tradition blindly, he walked alone. He observed nature, human behavior, and battle in its rawest form. While others polished armor or memorized techniques, Musashi trained perception, timing, and the quiet mastery of self. He understood a profound truth. Victory is decided in the mind long before the sword strikes. By the time most samurai learned the first kata, Musashi was stripping his life of the unnecessary. Attachment to comfort, attachment to praise, attachment to ego. Each sacrifice built the undefeated discipline that would make him unstoppable. And this is what sets true legends apart. When the world screams for recognition, they train in silence. Think about your own life. Are you chasing approval, validation, or short-term comfort? Or are you building a mind so disciplined that no obstacle can break you? Musashi's first lesson: if your mind is undefeated, your circumstances are irrelevant. As he moved from duel to duel, Musashi learned to manipulate perception. Opponents expected arrogance, ritual, or pride. Musashi delivered unpredictability. Sometimes arriving unkempt, sometimes wielding a wooden sword, he controlled not just the fight, but the mindset of his opponent. Because controlling the mind is more powerful than controlling the body. He fought over 60 duels, never lost, not because of brute force, not because of luck, but because of unwavering presence. Every strike, every step, every decision flowed from a mind trained to see clearly, to act decisively, and to eliminate hesitation. Here's the truth: the world rewards the disciplined mind, not the loudest fighter. People lose because they react. Musashi won because he responded. Discipline breeds inevitability. Musashi's philosophy extended beyond the battlefield. He became a strategist of life, a thinker, and a teacher of mastery. He understood that life is not a series of random events. It is a battlefield where preparation, perception, and relentless mental training determine who survives, who dominates, and who becomes immortal in legend. He practiced meditation, studied human behavior, and trained his senses to anticipate movement before it happened. Each day, he refined the undefeated mind, learning that fear is a tool, anger a weapon, and attachment a chain. Victory is not simply the outcome, it is the state of the mind that makes failure impossible. Imagine if every decision you made was guided by clarity, every action by precision, every day by ruthless discipline. This is the brutal mindset Musashi mastered, and it is available to anyone willing to commit. By stripping away distraction, by facing discomfort daily, and by relentlessly testing his limits, Musashi became not only a warrior, but a blueprint for mental mastery. His duels, his strategies, and his philosophies are timeless because they reflect the eternal truth. Discipline of the mind is the ultimate power. And yet, even as his legend grew, Musashi never stopped refining himself. Every duel, every failure, every moment of doubt became fuel to sharpen the undefeated mind. He became a living paradox, approachable yet untouchable, humble yet unstoppable, simple yet profoundly strategic.
Musashi did not fight for applause. He did not duel to be famous. Every clash of steel, every strategy, every moment of stillness was a lesson in building the undefeated mind. Where others saw chaos, he saw patterns. Where others rushed, he paused. Where others feared, he prepared. Every move he made, every decision, every duel was a deliberate step toward mental mastery. The world remembers Musashi as a swordsman. Fewer remember him as a philosopher, and rarer still as a student of himself. His life was a laboratory of discipline, testing, failing, and rising again. This is the essence of the brutal discipline of an undefeated mind. Ask yourself, how often do you pause to train your mind as fiercely as your actions? How often do you refine your character before confronting the chaos around you? Musashi's discipline reminds us the undefeated mind cannot be built by shortcuts. He observed everything: nature, humans, the battlefield, the way wind bends trees, the flow of water, the hesitation of opponents. Every observation became a lesson. Every lesson became a principle. Every principle became a weapon. Musashi was fluid. Rigid techniques, rigid thinking, these were weaknesses. He adapted constantly, learning from mistakes, seizing opportunity, exploiting patterns. Opponents expected tradition, ritual, and ceremony. Musashi delivered unpredictability. Victory belongs to those who prepare internally, he seemed to say. How often do you fight life with outdated methods? Musashi teaches that flexibility, observation, and discipline are more powerful than brute force. He lived alone, often misunderstood, always scrutinized. His duels were legends, but his mind was his greatest battlefield. Every victory reflected internal mastery over fear, doubt, and hesitation. The undefeated mind is not shaped by luck, nor by tools, nor by the applause of the crowd. It is forged by relentless self-control, practice, and reflection. He trained constantly. Even in old age, he practiced drills, refined strategies, reflected on mistakes, and prepared for future challenges. The world changed around him, yet his principles remained timeless: discipline, focus, observation, and adaptation. These are not just words, they are the path to the undefeated mind. Imagine living every day as Musashi did, aware, disciplined, prepared, unstoppable. That is the mindset of the undefeated. That is the code he leaves for us. Musashi faced hunger, betrayal, and isolation. Friends doubted him, rivals mocked him, yet he remained steadfast. Every challenge became a lesson. Every failure became insight. And this is the heart of the brutal discipline of an undefeated mind. Facing reality fully, without excuses, and sharpening yourself with it. Comfort never forged him. Loneliness never broke him. Discipline shaped him. Clarity guided him, and observation armed him. Life's obstacles were the whetstones for his mind, and every duel, every journey was training for a life beyond the ordinary. Stop waiting for life to hand you lessons. Stop seeking permission. Build your undefeated mind now. Every action, every thought, every day counts toward mastering yourself. Musashi's duels are immortalized, but the true teaching is invisible. It is not about defeating an opponent, it is about mastering yourself. Every strike he made, every stance he assumed, every journey he embarked on was a step toward becoming unbreakable. And that is the essence of the brutal discipline of an undefeated mind. By embracing Musashi's philosophy, you do not merely learn strategy, you cultivate unstoppable focus. You act without hesitation, see without distortion, and move through life with clarity. Every obstacle becomes opportunity, every challenge becomes fuel, every moment is training. Imagine living every day as Musashi did, aware, disciplined, prepared, unstoppable. That is the mindset of the undefeated. That is the code he leaves for us. Musashi's final teaching in this section: mastery is endless. There is no ultimate finish line, only constant practice, discipline, observation, and unwavering focus. Discipline is freedom. Clarity is power.
Musashi did not rest. Even in his later years, he walked alone, meditating on life, strategy, and the nature of victory. He understood that the undefeated mind is not forged in fleeting moments. It is built over decades of relentless self-mastery. Every duel, every day of training, every moment of reflection contributed to a life that the world would study for centuries. Ask yourself, how much of your life is spent training your mind as fiercely as your hands, your body, or your craft? Musashi's code is clear: discipline without delay, focus without compromise, action without hesitation. He carried no weapons in thoughtless hands. Each strike was deliberate, each movement purposeful. His philosophy extended beyond combat. It was life itself. Observe, adapt, respond. These were not just rules for the battlefield, they were the blueprint for living an extraordinary life. Musashi called this path the brutal discipline of an undefeated mind. Even when rivals underestimated him, even when society rejected him, he moved forward. No excuses, no anger, no complaint. The world tests those who aim higher, but the undefeated mind turns every trial into mastery. Every challenge is an opportunity. Every obstacle is a teacher. Every setback is fuel. Are you learning or are you waiting? Musashi's duels were legends, but the true story was in the preparation, the invisible battles of observation, self-discipline, and constant refinement. He read not only the world, but himself. His failures became insight. His victories became humility. He trained the mind to respond before the body even acted. Are you mastering yourself or merely reacting to life? Musashi teaches that the undefeated mind does not wait for circumstances, it shapes them. In solitude, he wrote the Book of Five Rings, not as a manual for swords, but as a guide for the mind. Principles that transcend time, clarity in thought, discipline in practice, adaptability in action. The lessons Musashi left us are not for swordsmen alone. They are for anyone striving to dominate their craft, their life, their destiny. He taught that fear is temporary, doubt is optional, ego is the enemy. True mastery is internal. The world may call you strange, it may call you obsessive, but the undefeated mind thrives in solitude, in practice, in relentless pursuit of excellence. Every day you can choose to be average, or you can choose the brutal discipline of an undefeated mind. Which path will you take?
Musashi's life was more than a tale of combat. It was a map of resilience. Every rejection, every challenge, every harsh lesson shaped him. He knew that external victory is meaningless without internal mastery. The undefeated mind cannot be achieved through shortcuts, luck, or imitation. It is earned through pain, focus, observation, and courage. Even today, centuries later, his philosophy resonates. Leaders, warriors, athletes, and visionaries study his life, not for the duels, but for the mindset, the way he thought, the way he observed, the way he acted. Every lesson points to one truth: discipline is freedom, clarity is power, mastery is unstoppable. You have the same choice as Musashi. Build your mind like a sword, sharpen it every day. Observe, adapt, act. The undefeated are not born, they are forged. Musashi's final lesson: the undefeated mind is endless. There is no finish line, there is no ultimate master. There is only constant practice, unwavering focus, and relentless improvement. Life itself is the arena, and your mind is the weapon. Every day is a duel, every decision a strike, every habit a reflection of your discipline. This is the brutal discipline of an undefeated mind. Are you ready to train it? Are you ready to see clearly, act decisively, and move through life like Musashi? The world will try to define you, limit you, and contain you, but like Musashi, the undefeated mind cannot be constrained. To master your internal battlefield, watch our deep dive on Marcus Aurelius to cultivate mental resilience, or explore Napoleon Hill to decode the system of wealth and mindset. The future belongs to those who sharpen their minds relentlessly. Remember, greatness is not given, it is forged through discipline. Miyamoto Musashi didn't ask the world for comfort, he asked himself for mastery. If this path of discipline, solitude, and inner war spoke to you, then you are already walking it. Subscribe to World of Greats for more timeless codes from history's most dangerous minds. The way is long, the blade is sharp, and the path is yours to walk. We'll see you in the next one.